In the glorious history of West Indies cricket, batting greatness has been defined not only by power and flair, but also by resilience and consistency. Quality is essential to the demanding format of Test cricket. Among the rarest and most respected individual feats in the game is the achievement of scoring a century in each innings of a Test match. Here are 10 West Indians who have scored a century in both innings of a Test match. George Hedley, the first superstar of West Indies cricket, did it twice. He scored 114 and 112 in Georgetown in 1930 and 106 and 107 at Lord's in 1939. One of the first superstars of West Indies cricket, as his alias embodies his global impact. He played 22 matches and had an average of 60.83. Speaking of George Hedley, one commentator said, after all, George Hedley was by far the best West Indian batsman of his time, and by many accounts the best in the world, but for Don Brodman. Another wrote, the first player to score 200s in a Lord's Test. Everton Weeks scored 162 and 101 against India at Eden Gardens in 1948. Everton Weeks played 48 matches and had an average of 58.61. One cricket writer describing Everton Weeks said, with a display of majestic driving that had seldom been witnessed in the islands, his most famous feat was the record of scoring 5 consecutive Test match centuries, last of which he hit in January 1949. The record still stands strong after 71 years. Clyde Walcott also did it twice. He scored 126 and 110 against England in Sport of Spain, and 155 and 110 in Kingston against the same team in 1955. He played 44 matches at an average of 56.68. Speaking of Walcott, one writer declared, Walcott was all power. Anything over pitch would disappear through the covers or straight with the sound of thunder and speed of lightning. Raw power was his trademark. Garfield Sobers scored 125 and 109 not out versus Pakistan in Georgetown in 1958. Sobers, arguably one of the greatest cricketers of all times, played 93 matches at an average of 57.78. Speaking of Sobers, one writer said, Sobers could play on good pitches and bad, off back foot primarily, but ferociously off the front foot too. With the high back lift and blurring bat speed that characterized Lara decades later, as if wielding a wafer. Rohan Kan scored 117 and 115 against Australia in Adelaide in 1961. Kan played 79 Test matches at an average of 47.53. Speaking of Kan, renowned politician and cricket author Michael Manley said, no more technically correct batsman ever came out of the West Indies than Rohan Kan. Lawrence Rowe made 214 and 100 not out versus New Zealand in Kingston in 1972. Rowe played 30 matches at an average of 43.55. Speaking of Lawrence Rowe, one commentator said, Lawrence Rowe was one of the most pleasing batter on the ice. Rowe's batting was defined by fluidity and grace. He had a natural flair that made even the most challenging deliveries look easy. His ability to time the ball with precision, coupled with a compact yet attractive technique, made him one of the most aesthetically pleasing batsmen in the game. Gordon Grinidge made 134 and 101 against England in Manchester in 1976. Grinidge played 108 matches at an average of 44.72. Speaking of Grinidge, one writer said, known for his destructive batting, Grinidge combined raw power with flawless technique. His ability to attack bowlers without compromising on classical stroke play set him apart. Brian Charles Lara made 221 and 130 against Sri Lanka in Colombo in 2001. Brian Lara played 131 matches at an average of 52.88. Speaking of Lara, one observer said, Lara's batting was poetry in motion. His flamboyant stroke play, combined with his fearless approach, made him a delight to watch. His cover drives and lofted shots were executed with a sense of artistry that captivated fans worldwide. Kieran Powell made 117 and 110 against Bangladesh in Mirpur in 2012. Kieran played 44 matches at an average of 25.76 rather. Speaking of Kieran Powell, one commentator said, Kieran Powell is known for his elegant stroke play, particularly his drives through the offside. Like many left-handers, he possesses a natural flair, and when in form, he can be a joy to watch. Shai Hope made 147 and 118 against England in 2017. He has thus far played 38 matches at an average of 25.01. Speaking of Shai Hope, one commentator said, Shai Hope batting is a treat for purists. His stroke play is graceful and effortless, often drawing comparisons to some of the great classical batsmen.